December the 1st, everybody. Got my sore throat, so I hope I can last the rest of the evening. Sorry. If it suddenly cuts, it's because I've coughed, and I don't want you to hear me coughing. December the 1st, running late on my first one already. I did plan to pre-record these, and I was going to do them at the beginning of this week, but unfortunately time took a hold and I haven't really got round to doing it, so I'm running behind time. It's 7:05 in the evening. His lordship has my evening meal on. I still haven't opened the advent calendars, so I'm going to, if needs be, I may have to break and then disappear, have my meal and then come back. But let's start with Sherlock. I did get a Sherlock book, and this is the one for the third one, the advent calendar for budding sleuths. Mr. Holmes's advent calendar, 24 solve it yourself Christmas crimes. And I've already looked at a couple. I will have to miss one of them out because it's about a game of chess, and I think you'd have to have that piece of paper in front of you to work it out. But let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. And this is called Cold Sophie. Holmes and I were enjoying afternoon tea and listening to a recording of the Christmas carol Adeste Fidelis on the gramophone when the doorbell rang. A moment later we heard Mrs. Hudson and Inspector Lestrade's voices in the hall. "Mr. Holmes doesn't wish to be disturbed at tea time," she said. "Let me through. I have no time for your airs and graces." Lestrade shouted before he marched into the sitting room, visibly irate. "This note, addressed to you, was delivered to my office, Scotland Yard. It isn't your darned letterbox, I'll have you know, Holmes." He waved an envelope in front of our noses. "I can't think how you put up with him, Watson." "Dr. Watson, if you please," Holmes said as he took the envelope and opened the letter. "How very unfortunate," were his only words before he read it out aloud to us. "Dear Mr. Holmes, I'm sending you this letter via the constabulary, who no doubt will be greatly interested in your true nature as soon as they hear about it. As we both know, your great-uncle on the paternal side was the notorious serial killer H.H. Holmes, making your interest in criminology simply the flip side of your criminal energy, merely two sides of the same coin. To remind you of this, I've taken the liberty of abducting your niece Sophie, who I might add is a very cold person, just like yourself. Very fitting at this chilly time of the year. As I'm sure you will want to see your niece again, I have devised a series of puzzles for you to solve. The moment you fail, Sophie will die. Place an advertisement in the Times with your solutions, and I will decide if and when to contact you again. For starters, how might one draw a square with 3 lines? Signed, Colonel Sebastian Moran. So that's where we stop. How might one draw a square with 3 lines? Think about that. I'll tell you at the end. So, like I say, I haven't even got round to opening my advent calendars. Look, they're still in the wrapper. Still in the wrapper. And this one is also in the wrapper. So we'll have to get them out, and I'll come back to you in a second. I like to keep a hold of this paper. This is good for sending out some of my eBay things. So I've got the piece of paper which I shall keep a hold there. And get rid of that sticky stuff off my hand. And in this I have an instruction on how to assemble it. So the house I assemble first, and then every day we put a little a little something in it, and that's what it's going to finally end up like. Not as nice as the tree, which reminds me, I've got to get that posted. I'm a day late for my granddaughter. I'll send it to my granddaughter. So we have this, which is the house. So I'm going to pop it out. Pop it out, pop it out. And then we have a base, a floor. So the floor pops out. And then we have, oh, several other ones. So I'm going to take these all out and I'll come back to you in a minute. At last, I've got it together. I have to film this in daylight because it's not easy to see. Took me forever to get it together. But there you are. It's a little house. It's got little windows that you take out, and then and lots of slots here, and slots on the top, and lots of slots, not so much on the walls, but a couple around the sides here for obviously something's going to go in, and lots of little slots to go in there. And to go with it, I have a box full of bits. So let's find number 1. And there is number 1. And number 1 is this one. Well, I finally got this one put together, and this is the little house, and I've just filmed. I've got a light flash showing there, sorry, it's in the evening, and there's number 1. That's number 1, and this is the little house with the chimneys and little holes to put things in and holes to put things in there, and that's the box full of stuff. So that, I'm going to have to set it up somewhere where it's not going to be moved very far, and that is number 1. That's the house one. So that's your first advent calendar. It's going to have to go somewhere in the house. So the next one, let's go to the next advent calendar, which is it is a German musical one. Let's see what this is like. Keep the cellophane again, good for wrapping some of these things that I sell up. So let's have a look at this. I always like to save things. Are you a saver? I'm always a saver of good wrapping paper, but I have to remember who gave me it because I don't want to wrap their present back up in the same stuff. Right, and this is the advent calendar here. It's a house. It's German. Es klingt und singt es klingt und singt im Weihnachtshaus. Don't know what on earth that says, but it sounds rather nice. Let's find number 1. And number 1 is 20. Oh, there's number 1 right at the top. 2 little children right at the top. Let's see if you can see. 2 little children right at the top in there. So let me get round here and see if I can open that up. How does it open? Does it rip off, or do I just open? It opens like little windows. Oh, now then. It opens like little windows. Can you see? And there's some children there. Somebody said, why do you always use your second finger? It's because this one's all knobbly. It doesn't look half as nice. That's my tapping on my phone finger, and it's not as nice as that one, so that's why I use that finger. But some children playing. Now, what do I do here? Switch that on, and do I press it? No. Let's find out what I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. It's in. Please use three commercially available 1.5 volt batteries of type. The connection may be short, but positive and negative. Oh, don't. Activate the calendar by pressing the on switch on the battery compartment. Open the calendar door and press the image to start the music. Well, I'm opening the calendar door, nothing's happening there. Let's switch that on. And then... I think my battery's run out and haven't even started. Oh dear me, this isn't going very well. This isn't going very well at all. Press again. Let's try that. Oh, that was lovely, wasn't it? It's called Snow Falls Softly at Night, but for some reason when I heard it, it sounded like a song we used to sing years ago, which was... Now this is me singing with a bad voice. Let's... Hold on. You've got to do it on a hard surface. Harry Black to Two hairy black something comes in tonight. Oh, excuse me. I'm sure that reminds me of some kind of song that my mother used to sing. From the post-war, she used to sing something to that sound. I must see if I can find it.
Happy down Bethnal Green, this gay youth you might have seen. Tompkins and I will hit girl between. Oh, what a surprise. I praised the Conservatives frank and free. Tompkins got angry so speedily. All in a moment he handed to me two lovely black eyes. Two lovely black eyes. Oh, what a surprise. Only for telling a man he was wrong. Two lovely black eyes.
Isn't that lovely? So that was day one of the German house calendar. I think I'll hang it up on my door. And so, back we go to, what was it called? Cold Sophie. It was a question where it said, can you remember the question? With Holmes. Well, you remember what the question was? It said the question was from the person who had kidnapped Holmes's niece. Said it was Sergeant Colonel Sebastian Moran. He said he had he'd kidnapped Sophie, and how might one draw a square with 3 lines? The answer is Cold Sophie, Holmes mused. Poor girl to be in the hands of such a villain. With Professor Moriarty jailed, Colonel Moran is probably the most dangerous man in London, and he's obviously out to avenge his boss, Moriarty. But what's this talk about a serial killer, Holmes? Lestrade asked. Oh, I'm afraid he's right about that. My great-uncle, Henry Howard Holmes, made quite a name for himself in the United States. He was an infamous serial killer and fraudster. He confessed to 27 murders, declaring he'd been possessed by the devil. A nasty story. Colonel Moran had journeyed all over the world. He'll have heard about him on his travels. But Holmes, aren't you in the least bit worried about your niece's predicament? I asked. Worry won't help us, Watson. Sophie's a formidable young woman, and she's very capable of looking after herself, even in this situation. If you can't solve this question, she's done for, Holmes, Lestrade cried. So how the devil are we supposed to draw a square with just 3 lines? Well, said Holmes, the way the question's posed just gives us the answer. No one's asking us to construct a square using 3 lines. That would be impossible. Holmes took a piece of paper and drew a square with 4 strokes of his pen. Instead, simply take a normal square and draw 3 random lines inside it. And hey presto! Moran's task is solved. He turned to the door. Mrs. Hudson, would you put me through to the Times advertising department, please? So he solved the first crime, didn't he? Draw a square with 3 lines in it. There you go. So that was Sherlock Holmes. That was day 1 of Vlogmas. Although somebody said the same thing. It doesn't feel like Vlogmas. I don't feel like. I've been so rushed off my feet. I don't feel like it's Vlogmas. But got to get my head into action. Got to get sorted. But as the days progress, we shall get more into it. Now, I got myself a new pair of glasses, and I got a spectacle chain with the intention of, instead of having my glasses on my head like this, I would have it hanging on here. But the problem is that I spent, when I first got them, these aren't the new glasses, these are an old pair that I wear quite often. These are they remind me of my mother. But these ones, I have to keep picking up different pairs because I keep losing them. But these, when I put them on here, which is a nice idea, and I think, having said that, I think I've tried this before, I spent ages, because I often work without my glasses on, so I spent ages with them like that, going around saying, I put my glasses down somewhere, I don't know where I put them. And his lordship kept saying, well, you must know. And I'm going, oh, I've just got to get another pair. So I got another pair, and then I couldn't find those, and then I got another pair, and I couldn't find those, and then I realised I had a pair hanging on the chain. So whether that's going to work or not, I don't know. The new glasses, if you want to see the new glasses, this is the new pair of glasses. Very classy big ones. This is the new pair of glasses. They're rather big. I don't usually buy from this company. They're very good. I can see well with them, but they are big. And I think every time I get from this company, they're always very big ones. But I love the shape of them. There's a couple of pairs that they do that are really nice. And the thing I like about them is these are react to light, turn to sunglasses. They are varifocal, so I can see close up and long distance. And they cost me £99. And when I went from eyes tested at the opticians, she said, do you want a pair of glasses? And I said, not when I can get the same thing for £99 and you're going to charge me £300. So this is my treat. This is another one of those things where I've got to wear them, so this is like buying a dress. Anyway, you will no doubt sometimes see me wearing them. And hopefully tomorrow I'll get my act together better. I'll have everything sorted, and I'll have a few more things to talk to you about. So, I'm going to love you and leave you and catch you tomorrow for the next Vlogmas.